You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Friday, July the 31st, 2020. The Yankees and Red Sox played each other in an AL East matchup, and this game was close, though it didn't seem like it through the better part of this game. Each team scored in the third inning. The Yankees scored first with 3 runs, but then the Red Sox scored 7 to take a 4-run lead. The Yankees were chipping away. They got a run in the 5th, but then broke out with a 4-run top of the 8th. They won up 8-7. Neither team scored the 9th, which meant that the Yankees ended up winning. Tommy Kahnle got the win out of the bullpen. Ryan Brazier got the loss, and Aroldis Chapman got the save. He has 23 now in the season. The Orioles and Blue Jays played each other. This is another AL East game, and the Blue Jays won by a 7-1 final score. The Blue Jays scored first. They got a run in the first inning. They also got a run in the 6th. Then the Orioles cut the lead in half with a 1-run top of the 7th, but the Blue Jays put up 5 in the bottom of the 8th inning to take a commanding lead, which they didn't give up. Matt Shoemaker got the win, Wade LeBlanc got the loss, and Anthony Bass now has 3 saves on the year. The White Sox and Indians played each other. 3-2 is the final score of this game. This was an AL Central matchup. Jimmy Cordero got the win, Nick Whitgren got the loss, and Jace Fry earned the save, his first of the season. The Indians only scored in the first inning. They got both their runs in the first. The White Sox put up a run in the top of the 5th inning. The Indians still had the lead, but then they lost it in the top of the 8th when the White Sox scored 2 runs. AL West baseball played between the Mariners and the Angels. 6-3 was the final score of this game. It was even in terms of hits and errors committed. Each team had 10 hits and each team committed 1 error, but the Angels doubled the Mariners' score in order to win this game. Dylan Bundy got the win, Marco Gonzalez got the loss, and Hansel Robles now has 31 saves on the season. The Twins shut out the Astros by a final score of 2-0. The Twins only scored in the 5th inning. They got both their runs in that half inning. Meanwhile, the Astros didn't score at all. Jose Barrios got the win, and Jose Urquidy got the loss. Another AL Central game, this one between the Royals and the Tigers, the 2 bottom teams in the division. And this was more or less a pitcher's duel. The Tigers broke the scoreless tie in the bottom of the 7th inning with a 2-run inning. The Royals put up a run in the 8th to cut the lead in half, but they ended up losing despite getting more hits than the Tigers. The Royals got 7 hits as compared to the Tigers' 6. Jordan Zimmerman got the win, Jorge Lopez got the loss, and Joe Jimenez now up to 29 saves on the year. Another AL West matchup, this between the Athletics and the Rangers, and the A's won this game. 4-2 is the final score. The A's took the lead in the bottom of the 2nd inning with a 1-run inning, and the Rangers put up 2 in the top of the 7th to take the lead, and then the Athletics took the lead back in the bottom of the 8th with a 3-run inning. Paul Blackburn got the win, Brett Martin got the loss, and Liam Hendricks now has 36 saves on the year. NL East baseball and a close game that took extra innings to finish, but the Braves won this one at home. 2-1 was the final score of this game. The Braves also out-hit the Nationals 12-7, and each team committed an error, but the Nationals tied the game in the 5th inning. The Nationals took the lead in the top of the 5th inning. The Braves tied the game in the bottom of the 9th, which sent the game to the 10th, 11th, the 12th, and the 13th until the Braves sent the home fans home happy by scoring in the bottom of the 13th to walk it off. Darren O'Day got the win, and Ronis Ilias got the loss. Another NL East game played between the Marlins and the Mets. 5-2 was the final score. The Marlins came out on top. The Mets were trying to come back in the bottom of the 9th inning, but they were down by too many. They scored 2 runs, but still lost by 3. Yanni Chirinos got the win, Steven Matz got the loss, and Brandon Kinsler now has 30 saves on the year. NL Central baseball played between the Cardinals and the Pirates, and the Cardinals won this game. 4-1 was the final score. Dakota Hudson got the win, Trevor Williams got the loss, and Giovanni Gallegos now has 37 saves on the season. The Rays and Reds played each other, interleague play, and the Rays won this game 3-2, the final score. This took extra innings to complete. The Rays broke the tie in the top of the 11th inning. That made the score 3-2. The Reds couldn't respond, so they ended up losing. Nick Anderson got the win out of the bullpen. Jose De Leon got the loss, and Diego Castillo now has 2 saves on the season. Another NL Central game played, this one between the Cubs and the Brewers. It was a high offensive game, though the Cubs dominated early. You see there 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 1 in the sixth. It was a pattern that was broken in the 7th. Then the Brewers were coming back a bit late, They added on to their 2 runs by scoring 3 in the top of the 8th inning. That made it 10-5. Then they tacked on a run in the 9th to make it 10-6, but they still lost by 4. They were down by too many too early. John Lester got the win, his first since coming off the injured list, and Brett Anderson got the loss. NL West baseball between the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks saw the Diamondbacks win by a 6-2 final score. It would have been a closer game had not the Diamondbacks scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning, but they did, unfortunate for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers lost by those 4 runs. Luke Weaver got the win, Clayton Kershaw got the loss, and Archie Bradley now has 21 saves on the year. Another NL West matchup, this one between the Giants and the Rockies, the 2 bottom teams in the NL West, and the Rockies pulled out the win. 3-2 the final score. Both teams scored in the Both teams scored in the 4th. However, the Rockies put up 2 in the 4th as compared to the Giants putting up 1. The Giants tied the game in the 7th inning, but the Rockies took the lead in the bottom of the 8th, and they ended up securing the win. The Giants also outhit the Rockies 10-6, but the Rockies still won. Brian Shaw got the win, Sean Anderson got the loss, and Wade Davis now has 24 saves this year. The Phillies and Padres played each other, and the Phillies got shut out. The Padres won by a 3-0 final score. Joey Lucchesi got the win, Zach Eflin got the loss, and Kirby Yates now has 35 saves on the year. Let's take a look at standings now, starting in the American League East. The New York Yankees still leading. They're 67-42. They've won 2 games in a row. The Blue Jays have won 3 in a row, keeping pace with the Yankees. They're 61-49, but still 6.5 games back. The Red Sox have lost 2 in a row. They're back even at 500. 55-55 is their overall record, and they're 12.5 games back. The Rays are in 4th place. They're 54-55, 13 games back in the division, and they've won 2 games in a row. And the Orioles still in last place. They've lost their last 2 games. They're 42-68 and 25.5 games back of the division lead. Also, if you notice now, the elimination numbers are present on the standings, so you can take a look at that, where we also will have indicators of teams clinching divisions or wild card spots or just a postseason appearance in general. So look out for that in the coming days or even the coming months to see when your team gets eliminated or when your team might clinch a playoff spot. In the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins, 76-35, they still lead. They won today, and they still have the best record in baseball. The White Sox have won 3 games in a row. They're 64-46, 11.5 games back. The Indians are 60-50. They've lost their last 2 games. They're 15.5 games back in 3rd place still. The Tigers are 48-63, 28 games back of the division lead. They've won 2 games in a row, and the Royals are 35-75. They're 40.5 games back. They've lost 6 games in a row, and their elimination number for the division is 12. In the American League West, the Oakland Athletics are 67-43. They still lead. They've also won their last 3 games. The Astros have lost their last 2, so the Astros now 3.5 games back of the A's for first place with a 63-46 overall record. The Angels are 18.5 back. 49-62 is their overall record. They won today, though. The Rangers have lost their last 2 games. They're 45-66, 22.5 games back. And they're tied for 4th with the Mariners, who are also 45-66 and who are also 22.5 games back of the division lead. Here are the wild card standings in the American League. The White Sox right now have the top wild card spot because they've won 3 in a row, and the Astros have lost their last 2, so the Astros are now a half game back of the White Sox for the first wild card spot. The Blue Jays still close. They've won their last 3 games, so they're staying in it. 61-49 is their record. They're 2.5 games back. The Indians are 60-50, 3.5 games back. They've lost their last 2 games, so they've fallen below the Blue Jays now. And the Red Sox, who have been lingering for a while, have evened out to a 500 winning percentage. They're 8.5 games back, and they've been struggling recently. Every other team in the American League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 9 games back of that second wild card spot. And the Royals right now, the closest to being eliminated from playoffs altogether. Their elimination number for a wild card spot is 25. In the National League East, the Washington Nationals lead. They're 63-48. The Marlins are in second. 60-51 is their record. They're 3 games out. The Braves 59-51, 3.5 games out. The Phillies 54-57, 9 games back. And the Mets are in last. They're 49-60, 13 games back of the Nationals. In the National League Central, the St. Louis Cardinals still lead. They're 64-48. They've also gone on a winning streak. They've won their last 5 games. The Cubs are 58-52, 5 games back. They won today. The Brewers have gotten cold recently. They've lost 5 in a row, and they've also lost 8 of their last 10. 49-60 is their overall record, and they're 13.5 games back of the Cardinals. The Reds are 46-64, 17 games back, and the Pirates still in last. They're 41-68, 21.5 games back of first place. In the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers still lead. They also still have the second best record in baseball. 73-38 is their overall record. The Diamondbacks, 59-51. They're 13.5 games back, and they're 1 win away from 60. Padres are also 1 win away from 60 after getting a win today. They're 59-52 overall and 14 games back of the Dodgers. The Rockies are 45-65, 27.5 games back of first. And the Giants are 43-67, 29.5 games back of first place. And the wild card standings in the National League look like this. The Marlins have the top spot right now. They're 60-51. Tied for the second wild card spot are the Braves and Diamondbacks. They're each at 59-51 overall. The Padres still lingering closely. They're 59-52, a half game out of that second wild card spot. The Cubs staying around too. They're 58-52. They're a game back of that second wild card spot. Every other team in the National League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 5.5 games back of that second wild card spot. Let's take a look at league leaders now, starting with batting average leaders in the American League. Miguel Cabrera has the highest average at 350. JD Martinez second highest at 338, and Miguel Andujar third highest at 330. In the National League, Christian Yelich has the highest at a 348. Two tied for second best, Ronald Acuna Jr. and Nolan Arenado each have a 345, and it's the exact same batting average. Hits leaders in the American League, Miguel Cabrera has the most with 150, JD Martinez second most at 149, and Miguel Andujar third most with 147. In the National League, Jonathan Villar leads with 157, Marcus Semien, Nolan Arenado, and Ronald Acuna Jr. all tied with the second most. They're all at 140. At bat leaders in the American League, Jose Abreu has 449, and in the National League, Jonathan Villar has 464. Doubles leaders in the American League, Anthony Rendon with the most, he has 39. Jose Abreu second most at 36. Whit Merrifield and Miguel Andujar third most with 31. In the National League, Jonathan Villar is the most with 48. 12 behind him, Christian Yelich, who has 36. Trey Turner and Juan Soto, Nationals teammates, they're each tied with the third most. They're both at 31. Triples leaders in the American League, Adalberto Mondesi leads with 8. Jose Altuve and Adam Eaton each have 6. In the National League, Jonathan Villar leads with 13. Victor Robles, Hunter Pence, and Andrew McCutchen all have 7. Home run leaders in the American League, Justin Upton has the most with 36. 4 behind him, Chris Davis, who has 32. JD Martinez and Gleyber Torres each tied with the third most. They're both at 31. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt and Ronald Acuna Jr. lead with 38, and Pete Alonso rounds out the top 3 with 30. RBI leaders in the American League, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Chris Davis each tied with 92 RBIs. Mitch Moreland has the third most with 85. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt still at 99, still 1 away from 100, and still the leader in the NL. Manny Machado and Freddie Freeman each tied with the second most. They're both at 82. Runs scored leaders in the American League, JD Martinez has the most with 85, and in the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has the most with 90 runs scored. Stolen base leaders in the American League, Malik Smith has 26, Adalberto Mondesi 1 behind him with 25, and D. Gordon rounds out the top 3 with 21. In the National League, Starling Marte leads with 38, Trey Turner has the second most with 35, and Jonathan Villar is the third most with 30. Walks leaders in the American League, Rhys Hoskins has the most with 68. In the National League, Mookie Betts and Paul Goldschmidt each lead with 75. On base percentage leaders in the American League, Miguel Cabrera has the highest at a 424, Josh Bell second highest at a 409, and JD Martinez third highest at a 408. In the National League, Christian Yelich leads with a 446, Paul Goldschmidt 3 points behind him with a 443, and Ronald Acuna Jr. third best with a 427. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League, JD Martinez has the highest at a 619, Josh Bell a point behind him at a 618, and Yohan Moncada less than a point behind Bell. He also has a 618 slugging percentage. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is still the only one right now with a slugging percentage over 700. He's at a 724. Paul Goldschmidt second highest at a 694, and Christian Yelich third highest at a 679. On base percentage plus slugging percentage leaders in the American League, JD Martinez has a 1.027. Josh Bell slightly below JD Martinez, but he also has a 1.027. Chris Davis is at a 1.014, and Josh Donaldson is at a 1.000. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads with a 1.151. Paul Goldschmidt second highest at a 1.137. Christian Yelich third highest at a 1.125. And Nolan Arenado fourth highest at a 1.009. Moving on to pitcher statistics, starting with wins leaders in the American League. Jordan Montgomery, Hyunjin Ryu, Jake Odorizzi, Kenta Maeda, and Lucas Giolito all tied with the most wins in the AL. They have 12. In the National League, Walker Buehler has the most with 14. That's also the most in all of baseball. Steven Strasburg second most with 13, and Madison Bumgarner third most with 11. Losses leaders in the American League, Kenta Maeda has the least amount of losses with 11 among pitchers that qualify. And in the National League, Walker Buehler has the least losses among pitchers that qualify. He has 2. Saves leaders in the American League, Liam Hendriks the leader with 36. He got that today. Roberto Ozuna and Brad Hand each tied with the second most. They're each at 35. In the National League, Craig Kimbrell leads with 38. Giovanni Gallegos second highest total with 37. And Kenley Jansen rounds out the top 3 with 36. ERA leaders in the American League, Kenta Maeda has the lowest with a 2.37. Jake Odorizzi second lowest at a 2.45, and Daniel Norris third lowest at a 2.71. In the National League, Walker Buehler has the lowest at a 2.14. Marcus Stroman second lowest at a 2.20, and Steven Strasburg third lowest at a 2.47. Home runs allowed among American League pitchers, Kenta Maeda has the least amount allowed among pitchers to qualify. He is allowed 9. And in the National League, Carlos Martinez has the least amount of home runs allowed among pitchers to qualify. He has 8. Shutout leaders in the American League, Masahiro Tanaka has 4, Garrett Cole has 3, Jake Odorizzi and Jose Barrios are each tied with the third most. They're both at 2. In the National League, Jacob deGrom leads with 5, Zach Wheeler has the second most with 3, Aaron Nola, Sandy Alcantara, Merrill Kelly, Walker Buehler, and Clayton Kershaw all tied with the third most shutouts. They're all at 2. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole has the highest total with 179. 11 behind him, Lucas Giolito, who has 168, and Jake Odorizzi has the third highest total. He's at 162. In the National League, Steven Strasburg has 180. Clayton Kershaw, second highest total at 165. Aaron Nola and Yu Darvish tied for third best with 162. Complete games thrown among American League pitchers, Masahiro Tanaka has thrown 4, Garrett Cole has thrown 3, Aaron Savali, Jake Odorizzi, and Jose Barrios all tied with the third most. They're all at 2. In the National League, Jacob deGrom leads with 5, Zach Wheeler has 4, and Aaron Nola third best with 3. Innings pitched leaders in the American League, Hyunjin Ryu leads with 156 innings thrown. In the National League, Steven Strasburg leads with 153 and a third innings pitched. Walks allowed among American League pitchers, Daniel Norris, Jose Urquidy, Jordan Zimmermann, Carlos Carrasco, Yusei Kikuchi, and Zach Greinke have all lost or walked the least amount of batters in the AL. They're all at 30. And in the National League, Marcus Stroman has allowed the least amount. He has 30. Everybody else in the National League has more than him. Whip leaders in the American League, Jake Odorizzi has the lowest at a 107, Hyunjin Ryu second lowest at a 108, and Sean Manaea third lowest at a 109. In the National League, Marcus Stroman has the lowest at a 107, Jacob deGrom slightly higher than Stroman's. He's at a 107 as well, and Steven Strasburg rounds out the top 3 with a 108. Pitching WAR leaders in the American League, Jake Odorizzi has the highest WAR at a 4.1, Masahiro Tanaka is second highest at a 3.5, and Shane Bieber is at a 3.4. In the National League, Aaron Nola has the highest at a 3.8, Jacob deGrom also at a 3.8, slightly lower than Nola's, and Walker Buehler rounds out the top 3 with a 3.6. Batting WAR leaders in the American League, Yohan Moncada has the highest, he's at a 6.5, DJ LeMahieu second highest at a 6.3, and Yasmani Grandal third highest at a 5.9. And in the National League, Christian Yelich has the highest at a 7.1, Marcus Semien close to him, he's at a 7 even, and Ronald Acuna Jr. rounds out the top 3 with a 6.7. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Friday, July the 31st, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.